Hey there, welcome conscious fashion friends to Inside Fashion Design's weekly community conversations. This is where you can meet and greet with a fashion industry pro. This is your opportunity not only to hear from the experts and their knowledge and advice, but also to connect with them directly to grow your network and use their learnings to level up and empower you in your own career. For 30 minutes each week, we will have a quick chat. The perfect morning break where you will walk away with some good nuggets of advice, tips and tricks, and two of my all-time favorite things, inspiration and community connection. I love building connections because it strengthens our support system. You grow your community and you grow your support, and we can all succeed together. I am continuously finding amazing people through LinkedIn and referrals, and 99.9% of the time, these folks also love to connect, share their experiences and stories, offer advice, and even more recommendations and suggestions. That's why each week you will find us here chatting with a fashion industry pro. So hop on in, join the conversation, say hello, ask a question, share your own tips, stories, favorite resources, or own piece of advice. Follow me on LinkedIn so you don't miss out. Every single week, we'll be chatting with a fashion industry pro. Are you a fashion industry pro and you want to share your story? Message me and let's talk. Who knows, you could be our next featured guest. Thanks for joining us today. Now, let's dive into today's session. Hello, welcome everyone. Super excited to have you here today. Today is our kickoff of our spring 2024 Inside Fashion Design Community Conversations. We have a great lineup every Thursday at 10 a.m. with fashion industry pros, and we're going to spend 30 minutes talking with them. So it's a great lunch break, great coffee break, or dinner break, wherever you are in the world, to pop on in, get inspired, connect with these folks. Like I said, we've got a great lineup and people from all over the world that we're going to be chatting with. So our intention for you being here today is that you can take that quick break and you can just leave with some bite-sized, juicy nuggets of knowledge and inspiration. And something that's super important to me and the rest of us is that community connection. So this is a great way to connect directly with our featured industry guest. You can connect with them afterwards through LinkedIn. And speaking of LinkedIn, our community conversation sessions will be held live every Thursday at 10 a.m. directly through LinkedIn. So you don't need to RSVP to Zoom or anything like that. Just go straight to my LinkedIn page. In fact, if you follow me, you'll see all of the speakers being announced as we get them published in the lineup. So again, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. And today we are talking about your big idea and shaping the future of fashion. So what can we do as individuals to help make a bigger impact? And part of really setting a foundation for that, I believe, is understanding your purpose and your why and your big idea, and really kind of thinking about that and building that first as your foundation, because everything that you work on and develop and design will be through the lens of what your big idea and what your big purpose is. So today I'm thrilled to have our guest. Our featured industry guest is Anna Cosentino, and she is joining us from the East Coast today. Anna is not only a producer, creative director, brand consultant, speaker, she is also one of our IFD esteemed coaches and educators. So she will be teaching a more in-depth version of this topic in the fall when we launch our Conscious Fashion Design Academy. So stay tuned for more information on that. I'll maybe share a link later of where you can find more information. So without further ado, I would love to pass this on to Anna, and she can introduce herself, tell us a little bit about her background, and we're going to cover kind of her history, her current passion, her current work, what the class will cover with your big idea and how she's going to teach that, and some things that you'll walk away from with. She'll have some expert advice, and we'll also have Q&A at the end. So without further ado, Anna, I'm going to pass it on to you to start with by sharing a little bit about your work and your background.
Oh, hello. It's so nice to be here, Britta. I'll go straight in. And as you said, I have, in my experience, I've worked as a creative director, and I began my fashion experience actually as an in-house producer for Thierry Mugler when the house moved to the States. And so it was an incredible opportunity to actually work with a designer of a certain caliber, but also to know all the ins and outs of how to establish a brand in a new place. After Mugler and after the launch of Angel, I went on to found a photo production agency and working in the industry with amazing talents and fashion photographers, which led me to delve into more love for design and the creative process, connecting
Anna,
with.
sorry to interrupt. Do you want to show your slides at this point? I could pull those up if you want to use those.
Oh, please go ahead.
Okay.
I just ran in there.
Yeah, let me share this.
Please.
Let me see if I'm doing it right, or maybe, let's see, present, share screen. Natasha, I'm going to hand it to you to help because I'm don't know if I'm hitting the right buttons. There we go. Okay, perfect.
So yes, I have many titles, and more recently, I've actually started loving the idea of being a generalist and a solutionist, which is something that Solitaire Tangent of Futera has coined. I think as creative thinkers, we're all basically solutionists, or we need to be such now.
I love that term. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this came really after my experience in fashion. More recently, I had the opportunity to be part of the editors of the Carbon Almanac, a project that started as a book led by Seth Godin and has become a network, has become a worldwide network of community built organizations that want to share and solutions and resources in order to make people more active in the fight for climate change. So things have converged, and so I now find myself looking at my experience in fashion and my role as really an activist, which has always been kind of at the heart of my experience, to encourage people to be involved, to encourage people to take action, because we can't no longer really pretend that things don't need to change, especially in the fashion industry. I
Yeah.
mean,
I think
um,
everyone has a role to play in it now, where before in the past it was, you would go into maybe your corporate job and design, like I'm a designer, so I would just crank out, 100 styles, whatever I was required to do. And then you pass
yes,
it on and not really thinking about the solution, or in a, thinking of it in a different manner, like what impact is this going to make, and how can I can be a solutionist. That wasn't ever really required in my role. It was just, get the designs done and pass them on, and it
absolutely.
has to be different now.
We
Every
never knew to
Yeah,
what level it was, the industry changed and
yeah,
what damage it actually causes. So, when I worked at Mugler, fashion was completely different. We took orders, and based on those orders, we cut pieces, right? We cut the
Cut to
clothes,
order.
and then they were completely made in Europe, in France and Italy, so close to the source, and then they were shipped wherever they needed to be shipped, together and distributed. So a much simpler, if you will, and less wasteful way
Yeah,
of
they
dealing with fashion.
weren't
The
building engine
truth
clothes.
is,
Yeah.
yes, the truth is that clothes were expensive, but that's because that's a true cost, right?
Yeah.
So there is such a big conversation, and I know that you intend to really delve deep into this with the course. Uh,
Yeah. There's
so
Terry Mugler.
So this is Terry Mugler, and I was there. Wonderful experience also to get to know about perfumes, and with the launch of Angel, again a precursor of things to come, because Angel actually was the first perfume to have to be refillable, for example.
Wow.
So besides being gourmand, which is like tasting like food.
Yeah, I love that bottle. I would be happy to I mean, you don't wanna throw that out anyway. It's too pretty.
Exactly. That was the
Yeah.
reason, though. So, they came to it in a way by the back door, as in the bottle was really valuable, and it was a shame to just throw it away. And so they created a fountain for refills.
Yeah. That's
Ingenuity
wonderful.
is just amazing.
Yeah.
And
They're a
so
little ahead of
this,
their time. Yeah.
yeah. And this is after Mugler, I worked in editorials and advertising, mainly fashion related, with fantastic photographers, Ruben Afanador, Maria Mark, and Mark Seliger, just to name some. And now, I'll have to remember the long list. And from
Yeah.
then, I went on to open with my partner, Steve Butcher, Spring, a really an exhibit space that looked into the creative thinking behind design. Wonderful collaborative shows, including experiences with Royal College of London, or Central St. Martin's, Pratt, Parsons,
Is
Museum
that
of Art and
still
Design. So yes, it
so
was
that's
really.
in sorry,
That
is
was
it
it was in Brooklyn. It
was
was
in Brooklyn?
yes, in Dumbo from 2003 until 2015.
Wow,
Yes.
how fun. That's
Yes.
amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. I love
And
you have a very diverse background, which is fascinating and so wonderful to have your point of view because you're looking at things from not just an apparel
no.
production view, but all the creative things that go into, yeah, photography and marketing and branding and all those things. So
Yes,
that's
and that's why I come, the experience that really kind of tied it together for me was working on the Carbon Almanac, because it just broke so many rules. Like we were, for the book alone, we were about 300 volunteers from all over the world who researched, edited, wrote a book published by Penguin that covers the basic understanding of climate change, so that people can pick it up, anyone can pick it up and find out what it is about. And then within the book, there are also solutions, looking at who's doing what, because believe it or not, the solutions are already here, and resources. So where
oh,
can you
excellent.
get involved, and at what level, like from an individual level to a collective level. But it's kind of like we all have to
Yeah.
get
So this is
connected.
not specific to fashion at all. This is for anyone to read, correct? Is it
This is for anyone to read,
anyone? Yep.
and there is fashion involved, of course,
Okay.
because
Yeah, yeah.
fashion is really up there.
One of the
It's kind of the
it's one of the biggest
second. Yeah,
one of the
yeah, it's
biggest
not
polluters.
good.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, it's
not
kinda
good.
it's kind of sad because it's an industry that I love so much, and as a designer, I want to design and make product. But
Yes,
again,
yes,
now today you have to really think like, is it needed? Is it, you don't want to add more inventory and things that are going to add to more waste. So it's a mind shift in thinking. And so segue nicely
segue.
into,
This
we're
is
going to
this
segue
is
into,
really well. We
yeah,
will get into um, connect the dots, which is really something that I started with a group, a fantastic group of women from the Carbon Almanac, where we actually look at how all these things are connected. And I specifically did a presentation at the Carbon Newbie Summit that shows how fashion is connected to everything, so that you get an idea that we're not just talking about your wonderful clothes that you're making, but we're talking about where is your fabric coming from and how did it get there and who is making it and are they being paid. I mean, it goes on and on and on. And where
yeah.
does it go after? So
There's so many. I love the connect the dots because, again, as a designer in my past, I didn't think about the farmer growing the cotton,
no,
or the person that's mixing dyes for a print. It was just, you picked a fabric
exactly.
and you priced it out and you selected colors and prints and put it into production, not thinking about, you know, who all those other steps that are included. And now I love that because I think it's so important to know, like, who's making your clothes, what's it made of. And I
Exactly.
I feel
And
hopeful
so
that the consumers are starting to care and ask those questions more. So having something like this that connect the dots where you can really see the full transparency and where things are coming from is fantastic.
And so, really, based on this, I think it's important right now to get a comprehension of where we are and what is needed and what does it mean to be a designer today. Like a designer today cannot just sit and design pretty clothes.
Yeah, make pretty
And it's
spaces.
beyond talent, right? Because you're a designer, you're a creative, you have talent. We're not talking about your talent. We're talking about how are you going to invest your creativity, knowing that do we really need another garment in this world? The answer we already know, right?
Yep. Yep.
So what is going to make us wanting
Y-
to
Your
support you and to
right.
support your vision, right?
Yep.
And I think this is where it is important to ask yourself these questions. As a designer, you need to say, why am I doing this and who am I doing it for and how um, how am I going to make a positive change while I'm offering these new
Yeah.
fantastic designs, right?
Yep.
So I
So
think
that's
it's important to
yep.
know, and I think it's important to think. And I feel that today a designer is no longer just a designer. A designer has to be all of it. It has to be an activist. It has to be
Mhm.
a visionary. It has to be a problem solver. It has to be a
Solutionist.
marketer.
A
Absolutely a
solutionist.
solutionist.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
So um there's one more slide here. I'm going to bring that back up at
we
the
could,
end
yeah,
because this is contact information for Connect the Dots and all the things that Anna is talking about today that are great links. So I'll bring this back up at the end, or have Natasha help me with that. We'll stop
yes,
sharing that one. So let's segue now. We have about 10 minutes left, and
okay,
I want to discuss. Well, first of all, I'll give a little snippet of information about the Conscious Fashion Design Academy. So this is an online course that we're launching through Inside Fashion Design in the fall. It's mid-September is when we're going to launch, and it's a fully comprehensive 3-month online live course. And it's going through the design process both from a business point of view and a creative point of view. So we're combining the two. And what I'm super excited about is that every session is taught by a different industry pro, and they're tuning in from around the world. So we're going to get really great insights from, Europe and California, New York, London, Australia even. So stay tuned for information about that. If you go to Inside Fashion Design, there is a page for courses, and you can just give me your put in your email, and then we'll keep you updated on the launch date and when the registration opens and whatnot. So anyway, Anna is teaching this course, one of the courses, Your Big Idea, Creating Your Manifesto. And like we've been discussing, I think, really knowing what your true vision is and your purpose. And then I love the idea of actually building a manifesto, like we were talking about doing it old school style, like cutting
Absolutely. I
magazines.
think cut and paste, come
Cut and
in,
paste.
let go of all the digital, because you need to
Yeah,
think, but you need to think and see, visualize these words. And I think there is something really
yeah.
great about cutting things, putting them together, tape them,
I
whatever it
miss
is.
I miss that. I miss all the handwork. So I am 100% on board, ready to do some cutting and pasting
All
and
right, we'll
cutting
do
and
it
starting.
together. And I
Yeah,
think it's important, because what is a manifesto? A manifesto is how you are going to let people know where you stand, what your values are, and why it is important to you to do what you do, but also it is important to you who your tribe is, basically. It helps you put out in the open your drive, basically.
yeah, you're looking at your values,
Yes.
maybe even like if you are trying to start a new brand, what level are you? Is it, you know, price point level, maybe like figuring out who your customer is. All of that has to align.
And
And
it's beyond, because your brand is obviously, some people, there would be, uh, it will be part of the course what your brand is about, but your brand has to start from a foundation, and that foundation is what you stand for, basically. And I
yeah,
think it's, if you stand for fun clothes for party people,
go
be
for it.
it. But
Yeah,
yeah, go for it.
yeah,
But I want to know, I think we're at a time where people just want to know more about you, but want to have like clarity. So, and it also, I think a manifesto brings you back, like, to what it is that your focus is.
yeah.
So yeah, I
So
look forward to it.
I was also thinking, if you do work full time, you're an employee at an apparel company, and maybe you're not even a designer, this is still a great tool to have, and you could customize it to your brand that you're working for. If you're working for, I don't know, underwear
Mhm.
company, I think again, as an employee, if I really understood, because you don't always understand maybe what the company's values are, or maybe there isn't a clear
Yeah,
mission statement. So even doing that for yourself through the eyes of your company that you're working for, you could still kind of, you know, create that, and then you'd have in your own mind, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be designing into or working towards, or
this is the
it's still,
drive.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah, I
yes.
think that
And you can
that
do
would
it
have
also as an
been.
independent, right? As an independent designer, or professional in the fashion industry. It says who you are. So it brings it out there. I mean, anyone can do it,
Yeah,
really.
yeah, and I
And
mean, you can
that's
apply it to anything, right? It doesn't even have to be fashion. It could be for whatever
absolutely.
your
Oh,
personal life or your a different business, who knows?
yes.
So, can you tell us, some of the things you will be, I guess, some of the key takeaways, or, kind of the steps you'll go through in the class to define this and then create the manifesto? Like, what is your, process, and how will that work during the course?
So I think we will discuss exactly why it is important to know why. for
Yeah.
yourself. Why this line? Why these clothes?
Why are you doing
Um,
what you're doing? Yeah.
why you're doing what you're doing? Because really, there is the other side that it says that is saying, do we even need fashion? Because things have gone so extreme. So I also think that it's an opportunity to have um, a new thinking come out. I would love, in a wonderful way, to have people um, connect and form alliances and see what new solutions can be brought into the business. And I think this is a way of starting to make it come out, because frankly, the business as it is cannot go on.
Cannot keep going.
So
Yeah.
we need to kind of like clean the slate and start new. So I think I would like it to be an exercise where we can really freely think of what solutions could be, and we can look at um, companies and organizations that are doing something, and they are the models, they're the leaders in a field, how we can need to change the way we talk about things, because a sustainable business is also sustainable financially.
Right.
So, and that part is usually kind of hidden. And so people think that, a sustainable business cannot make money, which is not true. So
Hmm.
we'll go through this, and I will provide examples of really great manifestos that are out there, and we'll take it from there. Also, a list of words that one can
Mm.
start selecting from, so to form a base, and we'll take it from there. I really would like the creative, like that moment of creative
Yeah.
concentration to drive.
I
Yeah.
love the words, because oftentimes when we'd start a design project, we would do a word cloud, and we would
Mhm.
just throw all these words, and you really start to see which words pop out and resonate the best, and then you can pull those out, and that also helps guide. So I love that. Um, we have just a few minutes left. I wanted to mention, so the course that you're doing in the fall, these will be interactive, like hands-on live. So we'll actually have a
Yeah.
working session where you get to cut and paste. We'll do it together. If people are willing to show, hey, this is what I got so
Oh,
far.
yes, we would like to see them,
Yeah,
obviously. Don't be
we want
shy. There is
it'll
no
be
wrong
fun.
answer.
Yep, and it'll be fun and interactive, and we can help, give feedback for each other and support for each other. And so in the last few minutes, do you have any suggestions or things that folks could do now to just kind of start thinking about their why or their purpose, and maybe a quick, I don't know if you have a favorite reference for, I don't know if there'd be like a questionnaire on just finding your why, or a resource or some tool
Well,
that could
one of the
kind of
best
that.
people in the Finding Your Why is actually Seth Godin.
Yeah.
And if
Ah,
people do not know who he is, I really suggest that you look, and perhaps you follow him on LinkedIn, as he publishes a new blog post every day. Uh,
perfect.
so that would be my first. He's really a leader in this. But
Yeah.
what I would say is that you start actually concentrating on perhaps brands, but also creators that you admire,
Mhm.
and you start getting um, familiar with that idea that this is who you are.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's, you really can feel what resonates, just by doing some research, and then you'll
Mhm.
feel, I think, you'll know what you're attracted to, and then, yeah, looking at them,
And
like, how do they
why?
do it and
So
why.
why is this attractive, and how are they doing
Yeah.
it, and how are they expressing it? And I think getting more familiar with it is going to be really wonderful, and also getting familiar with how um, why there is a need for change. But I guess we will go through that.
We will deep dive into that.
That's
So, yeah. Natasha, can we put up the last slide just briefly before we go? So here again are some resources, the carbonalmanac.org, free resources she has on there. The True Cost is, yes, an amazing movie that everyone should watch.
Yes.
And then you've got a YouTube Carbon Newbie Summit, and connect with Anna through LinkedIn as well. And Carbon Dot's website is there. And don't forget to go to Inside Fashion Design. In the menu, there is a design course tab. And if you go there, you'll see coming soon. You can register for more information, like I said, or just feel free to send me an email. My email is on the website as well. Do we have any questions from anyone before we say goodbye?
Wrap it.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us, Anna. Thank you for your time and your knowledge and willingness to share.
Thank you, Britta. I mean, really, for putting this together. I think it's an amazing opportunity for everybody involved. Really.
Yeah, well, I've been
exciting.
I feel so thrilled and blessed that I've just, I've been doing this for years, so I've built quite the network. But when I talk to people and share kind of what we're doing and what we're talking about, people really want to participate. They want to share their story. They want to support by giving advice to, younger designers or students or, corporate people that might be feeling a little stuck or something. So,
Yes.
so I love doing it. I'm thrilled to have you as a guest. Thank you, people, for joining in. And again, watch the LinkedIn. My LinkedIn page is Britta Cabanos. That's where we'll have the updated announcements of the next week's session. And thank you, Patricia, for joining us. Thank you, Melissa. And we will see you next Thursday for our next one. I hope you can tune in.
Thank you very much.
Okay, have a great day, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.